our Tremolo series.
In this series, we're going to share with you tremolo pedals by some of our favorite manufacturers.
Thanks for joining us. Today we're looking at the Vertigo Tremolo from Source Audio, and this is going to be pretty unique. I think it's the first one we've done that has some of the interface capabilities that we're at least taking a dive into.
Yeah, that we're taking a dive into.
Yeah.
Because normally the MIDI stuff we've kind of...
Right. Yeah, stay away.
Right. Played with it a little bit in the past, but we've kind of been bypassing the MIDI stuff. And we're going to bypass the MIDI stuff today.
Right.
But we're going to maybe show you why the MIDI stuff in this case would be worth getting into. I'm trying to think. Some of the other tremolos have had those capabilities, but
the iPhone's going to make an appearance on the show.
Right. I think maybe one of the first ones we plugged the iPhone into, the pedal. So we have the Source Audio Vertigo Tremolo. At face value, you have a normal, which is like an optical tremolo, a harmonic tremolo, and a bias tremolo. A depth and a speed, a volume, and a shape knob, I believe.
Yeah, level and shape.
Yeah, I can't read it from here.
Yeah.
And a shape knob, and the shape knob... Okay. So, face value, just like most of the tremolos we've used, you go, well, there's no tap tempo, there's none of that. Face value. True stereo, 2 inputs, 2 outputs. Input 2 can be used for some interesting things. In this case, I have a little dongle on my phone connected to a cable that's going into input 2, and that's going to allow me to control the pedal a little bit. There's also a control port on the back. You can do stuff with that. You could plug an expression pedal into it. One thing, they have it's a 3.5 millimeter input on the control. So if we wanted to use our expression pedal, we'd have to get a quarter to the 3.5 to do that. But they have a Neuro hub. They have a hub that helps control all of their pedals that you can route MIDI functions through and all that. And I would say if you had a couple of Source Audio pedals on there, I use their other pedal.
Yes. It's
the Nemesis.
Yeah.
The Nemesis delay. So once you start putting a couple on, I think that would be really beneficial. But we're not getting into that so much today. So, reference tone.
Revolta Mondata 8. We're going stereo today into the Tyler Ampworks JT22 and the PV Classic 30. And the reference tone would be... And I like to say when you have a guitar with 3 pickups, I run them all at the same time.
Right. All right, so let's kick it on. When we turn it on, it will be in the optical normal mode.
Right.
So why don't we just kick it on, let you play in that for a second, then I'll switch it to harmonic, then I'll switch it to the bias trim. Harmonic's like the brown-faced amps. The normal, what did I say, optical? Yeah. It's like early 60s amps where they had a little LED in, or it probably wasn't an LED, but a little light in there.
A bulb. Thomas Edison made.
And then if you go all the way to the bias trim, that's where you're changing the voltage across the plates of tubes to get that kind of like we saw with the Origin Effects. Their tremolo is a bias trim. Right. So here we go. We'll just stay in bias for a while.
Yeah. Very throbby.
So we often run the depth first, so let's do that. We'll take the depth all the way to the left and then all the way to the right. Slowest speed. I guess we could turn that down a little bit. The shape knob in the middle is sine wave all the way left. The square wave all the way to the right is a ramp wave. So we could just do that real quick.
Yep.
I think some in-betweens. I don't think it's like...
Right, hard. Yeah, there's not a notch, but there's a sweep in there. So I don't know if the wave is sort of, shifting as you go.
Right. So if that was it, nice sounding, and I feel like we say this a lot, if that was it,
right,
a nice sounding tremolo. And so you don't need a technical degree to run this one.
Right.
You can do that. You can get your 3 different types of tremolo.
Right.
Set your wave with a knob, pick your depth and your speed, and you're off to the races. And that could be all you ever did, and you don't mess with anything else.
Right.
Of course, you could do presets. So one thing that I often like to do is have something maybe set up that's kind of like what we have here, sine wave. With a maybe not so harsh, right?
Right. A smoother, more traditional sounding.
And then to have something that's a little bit faster and harsher. So if I turn the pedal off and then turn it back on but hold the switch, that went to red. Now, I've actually gone into the back end of this. It comes stock where it takes 3 seconds for that to happen. Like you have to press the button and hold it for 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. This is called fast preset mode, where you change it so it happens quick because I'm impatient and don't want to hold it down for 3 seconds. So we're now in a preset. So if I come into the preset and I move the speed up really high, you'll notice that started to blink, and that tells me I'm editing the preset now. And I'm going to make the shape square, high depth. And so what does that sound like?
Like a spaghetti western.
So if I press the button and hold it again, you saw it blink, and so now that is saved. Mm-hmm. So if I turn it, and this is the one thing that I find kind of a little difficult with this, but they're giving you presets with a 1 button pedal.
So most of the time you have 2 and you hold 1 and yeah.
So if I turn it off and turn it back on and hold it, we're now in
back to a live mode, if you will, right?
Back to a live mode. So we'll make it a little more normal. And then to get back to our preset, push it and hold it. So maybe a little bit harder to switch on the fly, like in the middle of the song, if you want to go from one to the other, because you actually have to turn it off, turn it back on, and hold it. You're not going to hit it like that,
right?
But if you have two that you can bounce back and forth between, in other words, and then of course, once you go MIDI, that's irrelevant,
right?
Because you can store. You have a bank where you can store a whole bunch and send MIDI signals to it and it will switch automatically for you. So one thing that they've done is they have the Neuro App. So for lack of a better way to do this, when you download the app, put it on your Android or your iPhone, you go into it, you can scroll through all the different pedals they have, click on one. So we're clicking on the Vertigo, and now we have opened up a really powerful editor. There's some different presets in here, so we could come in here and just go, well, I'd like a filtered tremolo, Pat.
Oh, yeah, well, who wouldn't?
Or I would like, what's tilt-a-whirl flanger?
Funhouse chorus.
Funhouse chorus. We have to at least give Les Lloyd a try.
Yes.
One more, maybe?
Sure.
Filters only, which I think takes the tremolo out and just gives you like a step filter. I don't think we can end on that.
What's pitchy?
Slow phase. We can do pitchy one. Would you say pitchy?
Yeah, I have no idea what it is.
Play a chord once.
I feel like we got to the dramatic portion of an 80s movie. Maybe Patrick Swayze's in there. Or a Steven Seagal movie.
So, wow.
Yeah, this is why we don't do this.
How about the double bounce?
Okay.
Wow. So we are just touching, that, because then there's, and I don't know how well that phone's going to show up, but once you pick one, you have this whole list of parameters that you can edit that go with that. So there's some deep editing here. You can do your routing with it, whether you want stereo, mono to stereo, stereo to stereo, all kinds of things. You can actually, like, I'm running this cable into input 1. You can actually, with a splitter, I think, run your cable into input 1 and an instrument cable in at the same time. You can then, if you had another source audio pedal, run out of input 2 to that with the control cable or with both controlling it. I mean, it's like
endless.
Right. If you wanted to do it, it probably will do it. And like I said, we are just getting into it. I imagine that if we went into the library of stuff, hey, we're about to show you our own click from the Browse tab. I don't know. I didn't really get into the library. But there's a library. I mean, there's people that... Oh, here we go. Community. One of these days, choppy bass sound from Pink Floyd, one of these days. Requires a dotted eighth delay, which we don't have, but let's just hit it and see what...
Pedals off?
Oh, is it... That is a sequence filter trim. Here's one where they have I Want You, the right speed and setting to match Savage Garden's I Want You. One more. It's like the rabbit. Come dive down the rabbit hole.
Right.
Money Tremolo. Tremolo for the Music Money by Pink Floyd.
I'm not going to play the actual things. I don't want to get, you know.
Leslie Wobble.
The Whitesnake setting.
We have to try this last one. These are all community ones. Beautifully Horrid.
Nice. Let's see what a Beautifully Horrid chord be. How about this? It is almost Halloween.
So, without clicking anymore, if I read down through my chorus, Cold Shot Leslie Modded 1, Pitchy Crazy, Hard Pan Baby. Oh, Hard Pan Baby.
All right.
And I don't know if we have everything set up right for this. We'll find out when we hear it in advance. All right, so I don't know. Maybe we'll have to cut out half of that. I don't know.
It's a true first look.
and so then I think it's worth mentioning all the pedals in that series. They have fuzz, they have chorus, they have, you know, all the pedals in that series have this whole community of people making sounds, loading sounds up, deep editing stuff on the back end. This really isn't that hard. It's a cable you plug into your phone's headphone jack and plug into the pedal, unless you have the proprietary Apple or, you know, whatever that they have going on there and you need the dongle. But really user-friendly, lots of deep editing to it, but not hard to do. And not hard to just sit... I mean, you can sit down here and go through the sounds for hours and then start editing the sounds and my gosh, before you know it.
Before you know it, the sun's coming up.
And believe it or not, they're not... I don't think they're unreasonable as far as price wise goes.
Well, especially with that amount of flexibility and
Right.
be able to manipulate it.
Now, all digital pedal, because this is something that most of the pedals I think that we've done for this series, with the exception of the Wampler,
Yeah.
I think have been all analog.
Mostly analog with a digital overlay to manipulate it.
Right.
But the signal and the path is all analog.
This is all digital.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
with that, I think.
Sure. We could go down about 10 more sounds and bore you to death.
At this point, this is, I guess, the time where we say thank you for watching. We always like to thank those of you that are subscribing, hitting the notification bell, clicking on likes. In the comment, what features on the Tremolo pedal, since this is the Tremolo series, can you not live without? What are your favorite Tremolo pedal features? Keep asking that. I don't know a lot of people have answered us, but we keep asking. Stop out to Instagram, Facebook, and with all that, just we appreciate you and the time that you're given to watch the show. So, with that.
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. Guess we'll have to go with some Drive from David Baba. It's the Buddy Guy Tremolo.